do so much more than what their 9 to 5, their job, or even what they paid thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to school for what they believed was going to be a love of a career or a love of a lifestyle. And they just can't stand that shit now. And they're looking for something new. Those are the individuals that we're looking for. We're looking for people that are just done being sick and tired of being sick and tired, living paycheck to paycheck, being on food stamps, being told they're not good enough, being said that they're not worth a certain amount, being said that their family's time is not as important as the time that it is that you're putting into your job. Like, those are the fucking people that we're really looking for. And the only way we're going to be able to make that happen is with us having a footprint of 500 offices, with us having a system that not only teaches and develops people, but helps individuals get into action. And when they take that action, magic starts to happen. 1, 2, 3, come on! Wow, sheesh. Why the club? Why have I decided to be part of New Wealth Advisors Club? Why do I feel like this is home for me? You know, before I actually stepped foot into the club, I'd actually spent well over $150, close to $180,000 on education, on systems, on masterminds, on events. And through that, I still was missing community, right? Everyone had all the answers for the education. Everyone had all the answers for the systems and where the leads come from, but nobody could bring the community to me, right? So, you know, while I was learning and educating and growing in real estate, I really started to understand, like, man, I needed to wrap my mind around being around other like-minded people, right? You know, people that play basketball, they play and hang out with people that play basketball. That's what makes them great at the game. And so one of the strategies I was taught was, you know, look at bandit signs, look at, Google ads that share, you know, I'm a wholesaler, I'm buy cash fast, I'm an investor, come flip with me. And so I really just started opening my mind. And it's crazy because I seen these signs ever since I was in high school, and they would be around everywhere. And I would always wonder, like, man, why does somebody want to call on that sign, right? And so I finally took the initiative, took that leap, and found myself here at one of the intros. And during the intro, they talked a lot about what leverage looked like. And I still tried to wrap my mind, because I was paying people to drive for dollars. I was paying people to make the phone calls for me. I was really focusing on how I could turn this into a system, how I could turn it into a business. I wasn't looking for a hobby. I wasn't looking for something that would give me an extra $500 to $1,000 a month. I wanted a lifestyle. I wanted a future for my family. I wanted security that no economy and no pandemic and no politics could touch, right? So with me owning my logistics business, it was great, but nothing was like real estate, where we're always going to need homes. So that's what really started to attract me to New Wealth, right? Was understanding that this is where I could build a business like my logistics business, where income comes in every week, right? I had that opportunity to do the same here with like-minded individuals. And that was the main focus, was how can I really utilize this club for what they keep on talking to me about, which was leverage. And I really tried to come up with a game plan for that and understand what was really important to me and to other people. As I started thinking about the leverage opportunity, I really started to see how many different ways and issues that this could really solve, right? It could solve things for those that are homeowners. If we could get a big team that's out there and we could really go after so many homeowners and help them with their problems, that could be a mass change for so many more people to be able to save their homes or look for people like us where they could sell their homes to. On the same note, what really got me attracted to this whole leverage aspect was creating and developing a team of other investors where they get the same opportunity that I do. I could train, I could develop them, I could help them grow something that will provide for the rest of their family's future, financial future, right? Provide financial freedom. And I didn't think of any other industry where I could really plant my flag and say, like, I'm really changing people's lives in so many different dynamics, right? So that's what really got me interested in now. Why is this so important, and what can we do to create this leverage at a level that most could not even comprehend, right? And that's when I really started dreaming up, man, a deal a day. And I almost thought I was crazy by saying this, like a deal a day. That sounds so selfish. That sounds so crazy that, like, why is that important to you, Brian? Do you need to make that much money, right? Like, that's what most outsiders would probably really, I guess, comprehend when they hear that dream, a deal a day, right? Like, what really wraps around that? Well, what I focus on is, I mean, revolving through this club on an annual basis, we have about 500 members, right? How many of them are really active, and how can we get so many of those members to be more active, more excited, more on fire to do multiple deals a day? And if you're talking 500 members and I'm able to help people on a daily basis, I mean, a deal per member, that's easily 362, 300, whatever, 65 days a year. I can't even count right now. But the idea there is how we can help so many families and help so many people pave a financial freedom path for their family, you know? And that's, again, why it was so important for me to facilitate the, not only just the idea, but what it's going to look like, right? Framework, what the people are going to do, what their call to action, what I need to do, how I'm going to show up. And I started finding great relationships here with different individuals. So we started doing what was our weekly accountability. And it was like about 6 to 9 of us that really started to focus on taking our business to the next level. I started getting scared because I started hearing a lot about these masterminds and groups where people just talked about deals all day, right? They talked about how I'm going to make this deal happen, but nobody in the group was doing deals. And that was the number one thing I didn't want. I didn't want a kumbaya club where people would come and bitch and complain about why shit wasn't happening for them. I really wanted something that focused on action. Because really, you know, at the end of the day, money loves speed. And the person that has the massive action with the speed to back it up, that's where the money is going to be driven towards, right? So, you know, the main focus next was how do we get more people doing more on a daily basis, not just a weekly basis. And I really don't want to hear about this anymore on why deals didn't work. What are we going to do to start frameworking making these deals work, right? So we started getting more creative, different ways and structures for us to look at these deals, think of these things on outside of the box. But the best thing about it is we were collaborating as a team. So the 9 individuals that were there, you know, eventually grew to 18, and then it grew to about 25 and then 30. And now we're sitting at about 50, 55 people that jump on a call 3 times a week for 3 hours at a time. And that's all we do is we run through real deals, real problems, real solutions, real opportunities, and we close real deals. And I never felt like that was anywhere. And now I felt that this is what was important for us to be able to create a mass amount of people taking a mass amount of action. And that's how the 21-day business challenge was created. What I love about the 21-day business challenge is because the majority of people that come through this club, they come through this club with an associate mindset, a W-2, right? A job, somebody else telling them what to do, how to do, when to show up, when they could leave, what they're going to get paid, what their raise is, what days they could have off, right? So we're all broken because that was the system that we were developed to participate in. So my main focus was how can we take the same individual that's working day in, day out and start creating a business opportunity? Because a lot of people believe they could come into this and work it as a hobby, work it as a part-time job. But for whatever reason, they're expecting this financial freedom, vehicle to just arrive and take them on with a little bit of time that they put in there. They don't understand that this is a business they're starting. There's sacrifice, there's time, there's money, there's relationships that need to be built, there's strategies, there's systems. How do we even comprehend what needs to be done? And so if we could focus on taking somebody from their 9-to-5 mindset and turn that into a business mindset in 21 days, and a lot of people say, well, why 21 days? The reality of it is a lot of humans cannot stay focused, stay committed, stay consistent for longer than that time frame. So if we have little bursts of excitement and logs that fuel the fire and help people keep their momentum going, and then those people that fall off that bandwagon, but this repeats every 6 weeks, gives them that opportunity to say, hey, this is hope, this is the team, this is the leverage that I need, and I need to jump on this every single time to take my business a little bit further, right? So our main focus was really being able to develop an associate into a business owner with the systems they need, the processes they need, and the people, the backbone, the support that they need to make all that happen. And that's where the 21-day business challenge started really, developing and coming together. As far as creating time for this, I had mentioned I have another business. I have a couple of businesses, and I really wanted to focus on what did that look like for me to be more involved in real estate more so than anything else? So, we have a small little marketing business that's up and running, and we also have our logistics business that has been my bread and butter and has allowed me to be able to put food on the table and venture off to other opportunities, right? That's our baby that allowed what we're doing now. But my main focus is replacing logistics with 100% real estate. Not that I want to sell my logistics business, but I've been focusing on, what does an executive position look like? What does a true sales position look like? What is my operation manager's new role and those supervisors? What do those look like? So I could take myself out of that business and focus on delegating more. During that whole process of me creating time, it's allowed me to really stop and slow down and focus and say, wow, I could actually do so much more in my role as a leader, developer, creator, visionary, and delegate through a lot of individuals where they're strong, where I'm weak. And going back to the leverage factor of this club, I've built solid relationships like with Kevin or with Scott or Jessica or Melina, right? Sam and Zach out in Tampa Bay, where I'm not doing all this by myself. I'm doing it with a group of individuals that think like me, that act like me, that want more just like I do. So going back to the leverage factor, that mindset and what I was creating here has allowed me to be able to step out of key roles of my other businesses where I would be part of the daily operations or problem solvings, where now I could step back and teach and develop and duplicate other individuals to now take those roles. Guess what? They get paid more, so they're happier, right? They get a little bit more responsibility, so I'm happy because that takes them off of my plate, and it allows other opportunity for those that are looking to climb that chain and build their mindset and start to develop into new roles and new challenges that will pay them, earn them more, right? So like at the end of the day, everybody wins because I'm being stretched here and I'm being challenged here. So a lot of people look at accountability as something that's fun, right? And something that is important in order to be able to succeed. And I totally agree with that. It's definitely necessary. It's definitely needed. And as far as fun, it's always fun when the conversations are about winning, right? But there's times where we need to be held accountable when we don't want to do the work, when we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing, right? So the best way or form for me to be held accountable was simply for me to have to show up in front of everybody, right? If I say that we're going to do a call Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for 3 hours from 7 a.m. or 9 a.m. in the start time, and I am the one that's running it, I don't get the decision on do I want to show up today or I don't want to show up today, right? It forces me to be on that call. It forces me to be held accountable to you guys, right? One thing I share all the time on this call is it's very easy for you to neglect yourself. It's very easy for you to break promises to yourself, but it's super difficult. Us as humans have this difficulty going back to the community, going back to leveraging this, right? But we have such a big difficulty failing for somebody else. And if you don't, there's a big problem with that, right? But if you are somebody that has a heart, you are somebody that cares about somebody else and their success, most likely you are that person, and you are going to show up for them. You're going to show up to door knock with them. You're going to show up to make phone calls. You're going to show up to that appointment with them because they're counting on you just like you're counting on them, right? And the reality of it is that when we start to create opportunities like that, like me doing the Zoom call, showing up in front of all of you guys, that creates the opportunity for us to win, because now we don't have a choice but to show up. We don't have a choice but to take action and deliver on the results that are expected, right? So then that starts to create this magical thing where we call luck, where now we're in a position where we're lucky because we're simply taking action and we're just being held accountable as far as working with other people. During one of our internal meetings, we were talking about what does it look like as far as this expanding. And my mentor, Melina, our CEO, Melina, had brought up pretty much what her mentor had shared with her. What does it look like to have a footprint of 500 offices? And man, that sat with me so well, where I really felt it in my bones, in my heart, in my soul, that that's where we needed to be, was 500 offices nationwide. I think that just her sharing that opened up so much of what I was already working on, from a deal a day to the 21-day business challenge to now we're frameworking the ability to be able to come up with duplicatable systems and ways to be able to execute. And now we hear this 500 offices a day, like everything just fell right into place. And why that is so important to me is because, again, going back to originally why I decided to plant my flag here is as soon as I found out what this leverage thing really looked like, as soon as I found out how many family members could be touched, right, when they're losing their house or they want to sell their house, how many people are looking for an opportunity, not just in California, but everywhere. Every state, people are looking for an opportunity where they can make and do so much more than what their 9-to-5, their job, or even what they paid thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to school for what they believed was going to be a love of a career or a love of a lifestyle. And they just can't stand that shit now. And they're looking for something new. Those are the individuals that we're looking for. We're looking for people that are just done being sick and tired of being sick and tired, living paycheck to paycheck, being on food stamps, being told they're not good enough, being said that they're not worth a certain amount, being said that their family's time is not as important as the time that it is that you're putting into your job. Like, those are the fucking people that we're really looking for. And the only way we're going to be able to make that happen is with us having a footprint of 500 offices, with us having a system that not only teaches and develops people, but helps individuals get into action. And when they take that action, magic starts to happen. People magically become lucky. Why? Because they're just doing the work that's necessary with the people to help them, support them, and back them up with the knowledge and education that comes from the club. So at the end of the day, that's what I'm super excited about as far as where we're going, what we've already started. The momentum's there, right? I like to share with everyone, hey, you either jump on this train or you get your ass ran over. I mean, it's really that simple. So one of the main reasons why I wanted to put this whole podcast together is because of the experiences, right? The experiences that we're going to be sharing with you guys from other investors that are actually doing the work, actually putting these strategies to test and getting real results that they could speak on from their experiences, right? We all know the easiest way to bridge that gap, to shorten that time frame for us to grow and get to where we need to be, for us to be able to earn and succeed for where we want, is for us to be able to leverage other people's successes and their failures in areas that we want to be great, right? Because again, mastering your craft doesn't come from you doing it all the time. It comes from the experiences of other people and what they share with you to help you bridge that gap. So you don't want to miss out on that. You know, again, like I always love to share, I don't do this all by myself. I have not got to where I am today because of just what Brandon has created. It's simply little bits of my mentors and people that have been around me that I've worked with or worked for that I've been able to pull and extract from them that make me the person I am today. The conversations I have, how I do that, how I hold myself in business, how I execute all comes from the people that I'm around. So when we talk about the community and you plugging into this podcast, that's what you don't want to miss. You don't want to miss the environment, the people that you want to be around, because ultimately that's what we're all after. We're after the best version of ourselves. And that's the reason why we created this podcast, so you can learn and grow from all of the experiences that we're going to share here. So make sure you don't miss the next episode, because it's going to help take you to the next level with next level thinkers. So make sure you like and subscribe. See you guys soon.